Hi, right. So today I want to give you an idea of the process I go through. So when I'm making music, I usually, I always at this point do spend roughly 3 hours preparing a groove. And I can add color, but I try and stop. Like, you know, the idea is just to get a really good groove, add pieces of music to have different sections that I can write over. But that's really the canvas that I write my song over, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time. So I have loads and loads of these instrumental tracks that they really, as you'll see, they really give you a good idea of where the song is. But I haven't spent any time fixing the arrangement, adding color, adding any kinds of effects like risers and stuff like that. Anyway, so this is something I do pretty quickly. I will, fundamentally, I'll start with a drum rack so that I don't have to, find each individual sound. I already have sounds that I've picked, and I will have found a song that I like that I kind of want to, come close to. It ends up going in a completely different direction, but the idea of that is to at least, have an idea of, have some good syncopation to begin with. So when I say syncopation, I mean the rhythm of the bass contrasting with the rhythm of either the piano or the synth that I start out with. So I don't know if that makes sense, but basically, yeah. So I have drum racks I make house music and pop music, as you may know, and so I have drum racks for pop music and drum racks for house music. So I would have dragged, as you can see here, a drum rack in, and it might already have some patterns there. It might already have, this is so that it can happen super fast. It might already have the kick laid out. It might already have some even some 16th note patterns that I'm always talking about. It certainly will probably have the clap and the snare on the 2 and 4. There's something there already to work with to get, to make this process fast. You want to make it fast because it's exciting and fun to be able to produce music quickly, right? So especially when after 3 hours of work, you're like, this is so good, So I've selected an instrumental that I really love, and I call them, based on whether I'm in my studio in New York or in London, I call them chronologically New York 1, New York 2, and so on. I'm on New York 44, so this is New York 44, and yeah, so you can see how it evolves from a very early stage here. I actually got the idea from Nile Rodgers, who said, don't spend any time, build the groove and then write the song. Don't start doing all this elaborate work on the music, because you may not end up using that piece of music, right? So, and it's absolutely true. Sometimes, you try and write songs over a piece of music and you're never quite there, and you never end up using the music. You would have wasted hours of time. So anyway, this is an example of one of these early stage things. All right, so you've got the screen here. So let's just listen to it. Okay, the rhythm of that I would have got from somewhere, from some pop music, but I would have created my own chords, selected my own patch, and I'm using Silent here. Quite often I play stuff, I start tracks on the piano. I can't play the guitar, so whenever I use the guitar, I use it more like as flavor on a new section to make the new section sound different. Because what I'm doing here is I'm actually starting to build the song, and every 4 bars, you've just heard 4 bars. Yeah, you've heard 4 bars. You want to change it up. You want to either add a layer on top, take something out. But right now we're right at the beginning of the track, so we're gonna add something on top. And what I decided here to add here after that 4 bar intro is, well, it might not be an intro. Vocals might come straight in, who knows, is to add guitars here. A wah-wah guitar. I might even, just feel like okay, I need a, some kind of rhythm in there to, to make this different from everything else that I've ever made. Let's have a look at what I've done with the tracks. I have some kind of. Hear that percussion? So I've thrown that in as well, just to, And what's this down here? Let's have a look here. Okay, I've thrown in some strings, that atmospheric feel. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, now I've brought the bass in, right? And I've done that with MIDI, okay? As you can see here, the velocity is different throughout. I would have played this. Yeah, I would have played this. So as you can see, it's slightly off the grid. Nice. Turnarounds. And see how that's different from the guitar that I brought in on here? You never want to, okay, you want to introduce things. You do want to always keep things interesting, but without introducing two melodies at the same time. That's a mistake that I used to make as a rookie, and that's really the key to knowing, to developing finesse as a producer, is that you don't add a new melody until your listeners are ready for a new melody. So they have to have the old melody in them, like they have to have heard it. Okay, we're ready to overlay something, and never overlay potentially three melodies will go over each other. It's on a case by case, but you start being really careful at that point. Yeah, let's see what else happens here. Okay, the drums have changed. So I brought the thing in, the kick in. Okay, let's go over here. Oh yeah. I add things, even if it's a little bit of color here and there, something really vibey. I do that because I want to enjoy the writing process. So, if I can just come up with something like that, I might as well, right? Throw it in. That's a little. Okay, so did you see how, like, after 2, 3, 4, there's a little turnaround, or whatever you want to call it, with the snares, and then, there's a 4-bar total break, and then the music came in the form of the synth and the guitar, and then after another bar, I didn't say 4 bars, I said 4 counts, right? So the first 4 counts have absolutely nothing except drums. In fact, they have that little interesting thing, but I don't bring the bass in until after 8 beats. Have fun with it. I mean, it's gotta be fun. Otherwise, you're just stopping your track. One of the things about producing is that, initially it's so technically challenging. You have problems with the DAW, the DAW, in this case Ableton. You have problems with plugins that suddenly stop working because you've done something, you changed operating system or whatever, which you should never do, by the way, not until you're ready to completely reinstall all your plugins. Yeah, so anyway, that's basically it, because after that I'm just rearranging things. I might be changing the notes. See that? In the bass, I'm making this slightly different. I've taken the synth out, and I've changed the notes in the bass. All right, I didn't play that. I just changed the notes because they were already laid with swing. They were played by hand. It's better to play things by hand because then there's more feel in what you've played. But yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to give you an idea of my process and how, I start off with something like this. I create a canvas and I make these so quickly. And as you can see, that it's already, you can already decide whether you love it and whether you want to write over it, based on 3 hours of work right here, Anyway, thank Thank you so much. Happy music making, and I will see you soon. Bye.